today's topic of discussion is looks maxing is overrated. So I'm seeing a common trend all over social media about these guys, right? They're trying to looks max, they're trying to be as pretty as possible, they're trying to get all these styles and fashions, and supposedly all these things, right, are going to get all these women. So we're going to be discussing some key issues with that and how these guys here are wasting their time. So first point is micro. These guys here, right, are paying attention to the small details, which is the micro picture, rather than actually paying attention to the macro. Now, as a man, right, a masculine man, he prioritizes the macro side of things in life. Do you understand? That's a woman's job to be focusing on the micro details. Because looks maxing in and of itself, right, that doesn't help you in other areas of life related to people skills, communication, getting on with people, being able to develop teamwork skills, being able to network with people, how you conduct yourself, masculine frame, and so on. You understand? So these guys here are paying attention to literally about 10 to 20% of the overall bigger picture, which is like 80-90+% of a person. You understand? So it's really important, right, that you guys here need to see looks maxing for what it is. Now, people confuse looks maxing with hygiene. Now, I've created a previous video on how to develop your hygiene. You guys can have a watch of that, part 1 and part 2. But this right here, the looks maxing, is the extreme level where these guys are just focusing on that all day long. And they're becoming so childish and petty that if their flipping millimeter of their shape up is off, then these guys here start to have anxiety and start to have problems. So anytime you're dealing with a girl in general, she can come across you and then she could see that, oh, this guy is not really put together, he's not really dressed appropriately. However, his mouthpiece, how he conducts himself, his masculine frame, and his ability to communicate with her, that right there can make her feel a certain way then. Do you understand? So it could be starting off as a, let's say, 4 in terms of interest level, and then it can be raised to like a 7 or an 8. But she wasn't attracted to him based off of his external, what he looked like. So what does that show you in and of itself? It just shows you that looks maxing is overrated. It doesn't get the results needed to get a woman to fall in love. You understand? So when it comes to a woman getting her to fall in love, she needs to fall in love with your personality, your confidence, development of your character, and your internal, which I've mentioned in the previous videos. Does that make sense, guys? So prioritizing internal over the superficial things. So these right here are micro things in comparison to the overall picture. Next point is inferior. You could looks max all day long, do whatever. There's always going to be somebody who is better looking, a guy who's more dressed together, a guy who is better in that department. So what are you competing for in that? It doesn't make any sense, does it? What you guys should be doing is prioritizing becoming the best version of yourself, and to not develop these inferior insecurities. As I said to you guys previously, getting your hygiene to a good standard, and then if you're dressing appropriately, yeah, I'm not saying, oh yeah, just dress like a flippin' loser all day, dress like a tramp. I'm not saying that. However, these guys here, right, they start to make comparisons to other people. So all these fashion videos, style videos, in and of itself, these guys here are just focused on that all day long. Or getting a flipping, these outfits is what I'm seeing. These guys here, a lot of them, they be wearing tight outfits, just feminine beta behavior. That right there in and of itself, when you're just having to wear clothing, t-shirts, shirts, or whatever it is, that's just so tight, right? It stops the blood circulation. Yeah, do you think people who are actually making moves and guys who are actually doing the most in society, do you think they care so much about what they look like, about the looks that they've got? that they need their flipping lip gloss on or some makeup on. Come on, you guys need to look at this and be like, okay, this is BS. Women ain't falling in love with this. A lot of guys are focusing on looks maxing and they're still not getting nowhere. You understand? So masculine frame, that right there, that's what gets women. That's what gets women to get aroused. Do you understand? So in terms of for her to feel that sense of connection there. So next point is feminine. These guys here, right, guys who are focusing on looks maxing all day long, they're feminine. They've got feminine behavior. Now imagine this, right? You come back from work and then you and your partner are in a apartment, and then she sees how you're spending 3-4 hours or whatever the case is in front of the mirror trying to get your eyebrows together, trying to get your hair together, trying to put on a certain outfit because you can't even decide what outfit to even wear. You're like, oh, should I wear this shirt? Or that's not really looking that good. Or maybe I should put on this jumper. That right there is just feminine behavior. Do you understand? Women see that, they get turned off. They get icked out. So this is what's happening with a lot of relationships nowadays. A lot of these guys are getting into these relationships and they're worse than the women. It's flipping embarrassing. You know, this just shows you this is feminine behavior. That right there don't get women to fall in love with them guys there. Certain guys, right, they'll literally just come up with a decision within 2 seconds. I'm wearing that. Whatever you guys feel comfortable in, you should just be wearing that. You shouldn't be caring about what society thinks. Do you understand? It's like myself, like I prefer to just wear hoodies. Whether I'm at home or whether I'm out and about, is because I feel really comfortable in that. Do you understand? So when you're wearing something which you're comfortable in, that right there is going to portray in your body language. A lot of guys are jumping on these bandwagons because social media is pushing a certain trend related to clothing or certain outfit or certain haircut or whatever it is. Like myself, I get a flipping haircut 1 to 2 months. I got these betas, right? Betas that are flipping coach related to their relationships. These guys are getting haircuts like every flipping week. Every week, you're having to go to the flipping barbers every week just to get a haircut. Every 1 to 2 weeks. Because you feel so insecure that if your hair is just slightly off, then you're going to have a heart attack. It's no wonder women don't have no respect for these guys. This is what it is. This is why society is breaking down. The problem is guys are focusing too much on the wrong things in life. You know? So that leads us to the final point when it comes to demons. By focusing on looks maxing, which is external, you're not conquering your inner demons. Your inner demons are still there and they need to be faced. But these guys here, right, they're focusing on the external and then external metrics, and then they're running away from their demons. That in and of itself is gonna turn women off. It doesn't show strength. True strength is actually acknowledging your weaknesses in life and actually leveling yourself up and becoming the best version of yourself. So developing your connection with God, because a lot of guys, for some reason, they neglect spirituality. They think to themselves, oh, I don't need spirituality, I don't think it's that important. And these are the same guys, right? They're suffering when they go home. They feel so insecure, so weak, and they have low confidence. So guys, right, in general, anytime you're going through periods of hardships, you need to be facing your inner demons. Stop prioritizing flipping looks maxing. As I said from the previous videos, make sure your hygiene is to a good standard, but don't be that type of guy to just be focusing on flipping looks maxing all day long and then you don't feel confident enough to go and approach that girl. Because girls see right through that BS as well. This is what it is. A lot of guys, right, don't seem to understand this. Guys, they feel as though, right, that they need a flipping haircut to go and approach a girl. What does that just show you? It just shows you that that guy lacks confidence. You know, and that right there is one of the biggest attraction killers to a woman. So just to wrap up, micro, as I said, looks maxing. That's a micro picture of the overall picture. Don't believe what you're seeing on the internet about these guys here saying, oh yeah, you need to be flipping dressed in the best possible way. You need to be dressing in this outfit and you need to be doing this, this and that. Yeah, in order to become like a 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever BS metrics they've got. As I said, that right there, that's all micro. That can never replace the main 80, 90% of a man. Yeah, related to his personality, related to his confidence, development of his character, how he's able to network with people, how he's able to become the best version of himself, how he's able to provide value to society. That right there is what people need to be prioritizing. Men need to be prioritizing their purpose. This right here isn't related to your purpose. Do you understand? As I said, there's a difference between maintaining a good hygiene standard and flipping looks maxing. Looks maxing, right? That don't get the best results when it comes to women. Women see right through that BS because guys going to still show weak body language from that. So next point after that was inferior. As I said, these guys here, right, I come across several guys who are trying to look pretty. And I mentioned from the previous video, there was a guy who ended up smashing into my car. He was focusing on external, trying to look pretty. This beta male is getting taken to the cleaners. Literally, he's getting slapped with flipping fines. You know, from my payout, 2.1k, he's going to have to pay that for legal fees in and of itself. Just getting flipping bodied, you know, because these guys here, they just focus on external metrics. So looks maxing rather than actually developing their own character. And then the next point after that was just feminine. It's just really feminine behavior for a guy, right, to just be spending all this time trying to put himself together, trying to look pretty. Do you understand? Women don't respect these guys here. If a woman, right, goes home, right, and sees her dad, that dad, right, if he's a masculine man, he ain't gonna be pretty. Do you understand? He's gonna flipping be busting his ass, sweating, doing whatever, hair's probably all over the place. Just straight, you know what it is, just straight on the couch. Like he's been grinding, putting in work. Do you understand? That's what women love. That's what women respect. They don't respect this guy right here just looking all pretty all day, not doing no work, not doing no grind. Do you understand? Like women could see from a guy's eyes. So when a guy and a girl lock in through the eyes, right, they can see straight through the guy's eyes and see if this guy here is actually prioritizing, working on himself. Because these guys here, right, these guys who are focusing on looks maxing, they can't get that on lock when it comes to body language, when it comes to that eye contact. They'll still show nervous, timid behavior. It's because women will see that. They'll speak to these guys, right, these feminine guys. They'll come across them. These guys have got all the gelled up hair and all this other, trim ups, flipping fades. Myself, I don't even get fades anyway. I don't think I've even ever had a fade anyway. I think I've maybe had it before, like once, twice or whatever. Barber's done it. But I usually just get flipping number 2 on the sides and back and flipping scissors at the top. I tell the barber, look, just make it look good, innit? Literally. These beta males, they're like, oh, I want a low fade. I want it to be, pushed up a bit. I want the hair to be like gelled up and that. Just flipping feminine. You understand? And these guys here showing all this nervous, timid behavior when they come across a girl. They don't have no flipping strong body language, no character, no flipping masculine frame there, nothing. And then the woman feels that there's something missing. There's something off about this guy. This guy here, right? I'm not feeling it. That's what happens with these girls, I'm telling you. These girls here, they literally is like, nah, they can smell bullshit. BS. You understand? I told you guys from the previous video, the currency of women, one of the main currencies of women is authenticity. Authenticity. Go research what authentic means. Do you understand? Like myself, you can't find another guy like me. I'm not a copy of anybody. You understand? But these guys here, literally, they just copy any BS they see on the internet. So final point was demons. Do you understand? And there's going to be periods, right, where you're going to need to face your inner demons. That right there, right, you're not going to be prioritizing looks maxing. You understand? You're going to see that as that's just not even worth my time. Because you're prioritizing facing your inner demons. That right there takes real graft and real suffering. Yeah, so these guys here, right, they're focusing on all this looks maxing. They ain't been through enough pain and suffering. Because if you're going through pain and suffering, that's going to be at the bottom of your list when it comes to looks maxing. Looks maxing is right at the bottom. You're actually going to be prioritizing your purpose and your mission. So that's what it is. These guys here, they're not going to tell you that in the flipping other videos about looks maxing. They're going to think, oh yeah, if you just focus on looks maxing, or if you focus on just money and you focus on status, then you're just going to get all the women. Women are not responding to any of that BS. That's why you see a bunch of guys in society, all they're focused on is this. They're not getting fulfilling relationships. They're not getting happy relationships. A lot of these girls, right, who are flipping attractive looking, we're talking 8s, 9s and 10s, majority of them are flipping single. This is what you won't hear about from other guys. Majority of them girls are single. It's because they're not coming across real men. Do you understand? Like all these guys who are focused on looks maxing. So leave that to the women, guys. Do you understand? Woman wants to focus on looking pretty all day. Let her flip and do that. And as I told you guys from the previous videos anyway, the women who just focus on wearing makeup and just all exterior and that, they're not providing any value anyway to your life. Looks maxing in and of itself doesn't provide value to society. You understand? So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.